Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Saturday Boys, where every day is a Saturday. Come hang out with us as we chat about music, movies, games, and more, all over nice cold drinks. My name is Nick, and I'm joined by Anthony.
Hi.
And Brandon.
Hey.
And we got an interesting looking one today. This is a white drink. I was not expecting it to be looking like ghostly.
Like spooky gold.
Yeah, it's spooky season.
See, because when you sent me the list of stuff to get, I didn't see the name. It was just ingredients, so
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, okay. I was looking at it. This is, what is it called? What's the name of it?
It's the Liquid White Ghost.
Liquid White Ghost.
It's it is a shot of coconut rum. It is a shot of the creme de cacao. They call for white creme de cacao,
Which is what I grabbed, because when I was looking at
Yeah.
there, I finally found it. I had no idea what creme de cacao is, so that took
Yeah.
me a while to find. Once I did, they had black and white ones, so I was like, wait, and then I looked at the recipe, it says white. I was like, okay, I'll grab the
Yeah.
clear one.
And then the simple syrup, and then it calls for heavy cream or half and half or whatever your milk choice is.
So we went with almond milk because we all have terrible stomachs.
Yeah, the last time we did the White Russians with the chocolate milk, a couple of us had a bad time the next day, so we're going with almond milk, a much better lactose-free experience.
It gave
here.
it more of like a more darker colored.
Yeah, and
because almond milk is a little bit more yellow in the tint.
And I personally really like almond milk as far as it's kind of a sweet milk, so it's actually really good when I've made White Russians and mudslides and stuff with it before. So I find that it mixes really well into drinks. But
Well,
let's try it.
cheers, guys.
I've never tried this before, so let's see how it goes. It looks kind of like a chai tea. Is how I would describe the look.
It tastes like a chai tea. That is delicious.
Oh,
I could
yeah.
slam that whole drink. I'm a milk drinker.
Well,
so
I wasn't
this
going
is
to have
just
another one
delicious.
after the pod, but I guess I am now.
I gotta transfer all this files. We're double recording today. That's gonna take like 10 minutes to transfer. I'll be able to slam one of these in 10 minutes. And it's honestly not a lot of alcohol in this. It's just a little bit of coconut rum and creme de cacao.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
Pretty
it's,
modest.
yeah, it almost feels like a breakfast drink to
It
wake
does,
up
right.
and have a nice little ghost drink here.
Yeah,
Start off
please.
my day.
I like this. I've never really had too many drinks with the creme de cacao. I've had like a couple.
As I said, I
but-
didn't even know what that was. It's
Yeah.
chocolate liquor, basically.
Yeah, just chocolate schnapps.
Oh, so what makes something schnapps versus like a cream de? Is it just like the type of sugar they use or something?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
It's like
It's probably like,
I
does it
believe
use
the
molasses or does it use cane sugar or some
it's
crap like
something
that?
Yeah.
But I think molasses, because rum is from molasses, right? I believe. Gosh, I knew all this stuff when I wanted to be a bartender, and then I realized I'm like, man, my stomach and alcohol, I can only take so much. Which is why I do it on
Expensive,
Saturdays.
heavily sweetened form of liqueur
Heavily
made
sweetened.
by mixing a natural grain spirit with fruit, syrup, spices, or other flavors is referred to schnapps.
Still doing research. What is the difference between schnapps and any other type of liquor?
Well, like liqueur.
With liqueurs. Yeah.
Schnapps versus liqueur.
Great way to start. Just, oh man, I have no idea what this is. Let's Google. I don't know.
Liqueur is already distilled and fermented.
It's one of those like super complicated, just like process things.
Okay, so liqueur is a little sweeter and more syrupy than a schnapps.
Oh, so schnapps. When I think of like easy to drink stuff, you always think of like schnapps. Always get you screwed up on like peppermint
There is
schnapps.
no
for
noticeable
example.
difference between schnapps and liqueur, and brands will use this label interchangeably. So like,
Oh,
it's really just kind of pick or choose. Like, sometimes it might be thicker, sometimes it's not, but they're the same thing, dude.
I didn't know. That's what I was curious about. But
Yeah.
no, it's delicious.
Yeah, I like this. Especially like the coconut and the chocolate. It's kind of like an almond joy in a cup.
Yeah. And it's like not overpowering with the coconut either.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And since we even added almond milk, it is very much like an almond joy.
Not gonna lie, there was one I wanted to do in the future. Maybe we'll do it for the next one. Ooh, we could do it for the next one because it's like a Halloween candy, like Snickers, because it was a Snickertini.
Oh.
I wanted to do a Snickertini.
God.
Got, like,
Anthony's
hazelnut.
bar has been expanded so much in the past like 2 to 3 months. We
There's
basically
nothing but
got
beer,
like,
but now there's a little bit of beer, but mainly liquor.
it's like our stomachs started to not like beer after we were drinking a lot every week, really
Just
fast.
Here and there for special.
It bloats you up so much more than something like this.
Yeah,
True.
this isn't the sad fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, time to move on to the not so important news.
I'm still calling it the news.
Oh.
All of this month, I'm calling it the
I
news.
forgot about the noose. The noose.
The
I'm gonna go
news.
last
I'm
because mine pertains to the episode.
gonna
So.
put like a bell toll or something, and they're like a funeral bell or some shit, you know.
Get a little
It's
spooky.
time
A
for
thunder crash.
the news.
Bats going.
Yeah, something like that. We'll do something.
All right, Brandon, go first. You've got it up. I hope. Maybe not.
Ish.
Eminem served pasta to guests at opening his restaurant in Detroit.
Okay, wait. So you
Run that by me again?
yeah, hold on. You said that real fast, and you also I gotta preface this. You were like you're talking about your article, and all you did was show me the photo. So I'm gonna put that up now. That's the photo.
Yeah,
and I had no context. You just showed. I'm just like
We were outside, and I just showed Nick the just that.
that. And I'm just like, wait, that's Eminem, but he's holding Chinese food.
Yeah, I zoomed in on it so he would have no.
I had
context.
no context. I was like, what? Okay, so
awesome.
you say you opened a restaurant? Is that what that was?
Yeah, it's called Mom Spaghetti.
No, it's not.
It's in Detroit.
This is not real.
This is from CNN.
Okay,
He was there at the opening
can you
serving spaghetti. This is
read-
the picture.
Can you reread the title here? Can we
Please.
just get that?
Here, let me send this to
Oh, you're cropping it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
God damn it.
I never wanted to believe
Eminem
something so
served
ridiculous.
pasta to guests at his restaurant opening.
Okay, so he served pasta, but it's in a Chinese food box. That's what really like threw me off. But I guess if you are
What
serving
else are you
pasta,
serving spaghetti in?
because it is like
A
noodles
bowl?
and rice. So okay,
A bowl to go though, like that's just like
hey,
a
I get
noodle
that.
box.
Chick KFC, they do the little bowls of like mashed
I guess
potatoes
you
and
could
stuff.
do like a plastic bowl like that. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. So on the menu
There it
for
was.
$9 is Mom's spaghetti. For $12 you can get Mom's spaghetti with meatballs. For $11 you get the spaghetti sandwich with just spaghetti on bread.
I'm so hungry.
Me too.
Spaghetti on bread.
But yeah,
not a fan.
No, it is a thing.
Is it though?
It is spaghetti sandwich, just like a meatball. You just get some.
It's
You can't
it's-
put a lot of spaghetti on there, else
it's
it
like
doesn't work.
It's one of those pop-up eaters. Like if you've heard of the Mr. Beast burger or the fucking
They just took over a local Denny's that was going out of business for not Denny's. I need someone with a drive-through shit, like
probably,
Wendy's.
like a well, they probably took over like something like that. But what is that fucking fast food Italian place that Farrelli's or whatever?
Oh, Fazoli's.
Fazoli's, yeah. He's probably got like a fucking Fazoli's that he's cooking out the back.
There's no Fazoli's in Phoenix, so
Or maybe he's commissioned out of Buca de Beppo.
like everybody. Yeah, everything comes out of a Buca de Beppo. I noticed that. Mr. Beast Burger, all of those special stuff for Buca de Beppo.
Huh. I'm learning a lot
Everything's
today.
Buca de Beppo.
Right.
That Chick-fil-A that I had yesterday, it came from Buca de Beppo.
It's a mind
All
fuck,
right.
man. All right, so is my turn now?
You need to pat. No, I'm still on this mom spaghetti
okay,
thing.
cool.
1 second.
He wants to cover this mom's spaghetti.
Well, just
His
like
knees are weak. His fucking arms are ready.
so, it's just it's a pop-up shop. They're not expecting to do anything else with it. Just kind of run out of other things.
He's not even really like.
That sounds
supposed
like
to
more of
be
a
there
joke.
Most of the time,
Right.
he just like he
Well,
wasn't even expected to be there. Nobody expected him.
Oh, he
to be
just
there.
showed up.
Yeah,
Oh.
he just showed up in a car and started serving spaghetti out the window.
What a legend.
I know.
I mean, when you own,
You gotta
that,
wonder if
you
there
have
was vomit on his sweater. It's not very like.
Most of my 8 Mile knowledge comes from Scary Movie 3, so I
Same.
just need to be quiet about the subject.
Right. I want to contribute more, but I really can't. I've seen it once. The actual
I've
movie.
seen it like 3 times. On FX.
On
Ooh.
FX, of course.
That's
Anthony,
probably
what's your
actually how
news?
I've read it, or haven't seen it too.
That's how you read the 8 Mile book.
That's how I read it. Yep, my favorite. Rare Pokemon Oreos are selling for thousands of dollars on eBay.
Are they shaped like
No.
Pokemon?
They're just Oreos, but they have printed Pokemon on them.
Yeah.
But they're not like in the shape of a Pikachu.
No,
like,
they just have a printed Pikachu.
That's like the
on
idea
it.
like that.
fucking lame.
I know. That's why I closed my eyes. I was just like, seriously.
Missed potential.
That's okay, but why not shape it like a Pikachu or something?
Well, no, I'm just more mad that it's not shaped like a Pikachu, but it's still selling that much that people are buying it.
Or fucking Jigglypuff, for Christ's sakes. It's already in the shape of a circle.
I got Jigglypuff. I got Ghastly. I got Electrode.
I got a Snorlax.
I got Voltoro. Snorlax. Okay, that's a big enough circle.
So apparently, like, because
Magnemite.
Because just like with the cards, so like Mew is like a rare one to collect out because there's like 16 different Pokemon they have in it in the packages.
Rare Oreo.
Yep. So you can get a rare Oreo, so the Mew, and they can sell for anywhere from $50,000 to $10,000 to $100,000.
Imagine sending
you.
an Oreo off to get minted.
Right. Well, like right here, some listing promises a mint condition cookie. One claims that the cookie has only been handled with tongs, so it hasn't even been touched by human hands yet.
I feel like tongs would be worse than a caring human hand with a glove on.
That's true.
That hasn't touched anything. Gloves are not a substitution for washing your hands, but
That's
I
also
see so many people put on a glove and they'll go through an 8-hour shift, and I'm like, you just didn't wash your hands that entire shift, basically.
Well,
Don't even get me started.
Like wash your fucking hands, put on a glove, and then just barely touch the. I feel like that's better than like with tongs. You could fucking like you don't know how tough you're grabbing it. You could crack the cookie in half, and then all of a sudden your Mew's worth nothing.
Mew's worth nothing because you can't no longer put that mint hashtag on it.
It's only worth eating at that point.
It's like it's a 10-cent cookie. Actually, Oreos are pretty expensive, probably like 25 cents. Not that expensive.
What is the value of an Oreo per like?
Well, it
how
depends.
Much,
Are you buying the party pack? Because that's the only way to do it. Because the amount, like the price per ounce, is so much lower when you buy the largest pack of Oreos. But the only issue is you have the largest pack of Oreos, so you eat them all. It's a vicious cycle. You get the most for your dollar, but
so a pack of Oreos right now, they're saying they're like less than $4. So just imagine making $100,000 off one cookie that you paid $4.
Target has them right now. The fucking
Pokemon
Oreo.
ones.
God damn it.
Oreo?
I hate the world.
I mean, it was a phenomenon.
Nintendo.
So
You're just trying to find the value
honestly,
of an Oreo.
Yes, I want to know the value of an Oreo. That's all I want to know.
Weight per ounce times how much, like if it's 60 cents an ounce and an Oreo weighs.
So someone was able to sell one package of the Oreos for $1,200. So they're literally going the way of like booster boxes for the cards. Like, oh, you have the chance to get that Charizard that if it's a first edition and it's a mint 10, it can be worth this much. Give me like $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 for the booster.
So
box.
it's just the Pokemon card.
It's the exact same thing, but with something edible instead of for a trading card.
So
at least
Oreos are vegan, so they'll last like a while. You'd think they'll get stale pretty fast.
Yeah.
If
I guess we don't intend on eating them.
The Oreo packaging is a double-edged sword. It's super easy to open, a bitch and a half to close right. So all the seals are fine on all the Oreos. And are you ordering off a Target right now?
No, I'm pulling up price comparisons.
Sure.
Trying to get the most dollar for.
He's like, I'm only paying $50 for 2 packs. It's fine. The 2 packages. It's a lot of Oreos.
He wants that.
He wants that Mew.
Well, is it just Generation 1 Pokemon, or because like?
Let's see if it actually has, because like it was saying like because it was saying like there's Mew, Charmander, Charmander, Bulbasaur like had like the starters.
It's like there's 7 other generations of Pokemon they could be using.
But then they have like I think Snivy on there, and then they have the.
Oh, okay.
I see Togepi, and they got like there's a lot of mix on the packaging, so.
And no one goes past Gen 4. Not even Game Freak.
I'm actually wondering.
Oh, are you excited for the Diamond and Pearl remake coming out?
I didn't play the originals.
Oh, well, never mind then.
But I want to play them all. I want to just emulate them all, but then I can't legally do that unless I own the games. Because I don't want to get a Game Boy because I don't want to play it on a Game Boy.
What if I let you borrow it so you can emulate it and feel better that you have it in your hands? Because I have all the Pokemon games. I am that type of nerd.
I mean, that's true.
Well, I'll just move on to my article here. It'll kind of lean us into what we're talking about today. Mine is from Rhode Island Monthly. And it's the Haunted House Lust. The Conjuring house in Harrisville, Rhode Island is for sale. So the owners who've had it since September 2019, who've done all like the videos and everything, they put it up for sale. It is, I think, 1.2 million is what the value of it right now. So if you got to spare 1.2 million, you can buy a little bit of a little bit of history, but they are turning down offers actually because they're wanting to find someone who will respect the history of it and not sell anything and not like just try to like attractionize it or something. Yeah, they've done it basically a paranormal hotspot where they can book people out, like they decorated up the house and all that. So it's 3,100 square feet, what the real house is. So yeah, if you're in the market for a nice Rhode Island house, there's just one for sale in a nice little bit of woods. You know, might have a little bit of a history, but you know.
Might be a little haunted.
Might be a little haunted. Yeah. Might have a couple
of 1.2 million, I think it was.
I forgot what reference is this. What reference is that?
Family Guy?
I want to say it.
Yeah, I think it's Family Guy.
Old Family Guy reference.
A Stewie thing, I think.
I don't know. But yeah, so that's what I found this week. I was like, oh, we were talking about this and it just pops up. I'm like, oh, The Conjuring. Cool. It's pretty nifty.
I'm kind of surprised they're already selling it.
Right.
I mean, it is a haunted house, so who knows what really goes on around there. So, you know. Fun little tidbit is the owner of the house previously, once the movie came out, it got so popular they wanted like nothing to do with it. Like cars were constantly on the roads trying to get to it, and
yeah, I bet
it was just like a shit show for a little bit after the movie came out. So it could be a similar type thing. So who knows? But yeah. What, are you still trying to figure out the value of an Oreo over there? Oh my God, you're looking up the weight of Oreos to try and get. All right, no. If you when you get the number, I'll be happy once you finally figure it out. Once you open your calculator for the 13th time. But with that, yeah, I'm just gonna start moving on into the main event, The Conjuring. So it's a 2013 film directed by James Wan. I actually don't really know too many of his other. I know he's the co-creator of Saw. That what it is?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
I didn't watch Insidious, so I didn't see any of those. Yeah. Dang. Oh yeah, he was directed the first film. That makes sense. First Saw. So. But yeah, it's a 2013 film. It's got Nighthawk in it, or Night Owl. As Ed Warren.
Cool.
Yeah, it was actually the first in the basically. How many films are in this damn franchise now? Because it's spawned off into Annabelle, but then there's the main series. There are
there's like
a
three.
lot.
Was there
of
3
these.
Conjurings? There's like multiple Annabelles.
There's also like Is the Devil Made Me Do It? Is
somewhere
that the third
between
one?
8 and 9 cents a cookie.
Somewhere between 8 and 9 cents a cookie is how much it is on average.
Yes.
Okay. So I was pretty damn close when I said 10 cents.
Yeah.
It wouldn't tell me how many cookies came in a package. It would tell me the weight that was in the package. So I had to take the weight in ounces divided by the weight in grams of what a cookie is to figure out how many cookies come in that pack of Oreo. Figure out the cost of the Oreo divided by how many cookies you have. And then that determined that at about 8 to 9 cents a cookie, with as many cookies came in that box.
What size was that one? The standard?
36 cookies in
36.
that box. And it was
standard.
It was like $3 for that box. Yeah. That puts it at between 8 and 9 cents a cookie.
Nice.
For that
you were
box.
over there on your phone just that entire time, just like
No, you
I had to know. Once it got in my brain, I had to know, and I couldn't let.
8.5 cents a cookie.
Somewhere around there.
Now the
But
world
yeah,
knows.
I actually didn't see this movie when it first came out. I tried watching it a couple years later, and I was just super drunk and passed out, and I do not remember most of the film. I was there for like the beginning and the end, and I had like no idea how they got there.
I watched this. My parents were out of town, and I ended up going to the theater and watching this one, and
Nice.
then going home to an empty house, and I was kind of spooked.
Well, a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of terrifying.
I don't remember the first time I watched it, to be completely honest. It's probably... No, I have no idea. I probably just watch it because like my family, like my mom and grandma, like horror movies. So I probably just watched it with one of them, honestly.
True. Yeah. But yeah, it starts off a little differently than I expected. Like, so, especially now in hindsight, knowing that there's all the different Annabelle movies and everything, it starts off with like a 5-minute little lecture where they're talking, but you don't really know it's a lecture until the very end. It's just like these girls who have the Annabelle doll are getting haunted and they're throwing it away. And like they go and see Ed and Lorraine Warren, and it's like an interview with them. And I'm just like watching it the entire time. I'm like, did I put in the wrong movie? I'm like, I thought the first one, and I even opened up Wikipedia, and Wikipedia doesn't care about that first 5 minutes at all. It starts with the next scene, and how it starts off. So I'm just like, am I in the wrong movie? I paused Netflix and looked up, and it's like The Conjuring 2013. I'm like, yeah, that's the right movie. Okay. I'll just keep going. Maybe I'll remember that once it starts after a couple minutes. And then, it cuts away where you're secretly watching a video in a lecture and like all right, they did that cliche. But yeah.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
I guess I'll keep going. After that, there is the text crawl, which goes way too fast.
It goes
way too much text.
So fast. I was watching this movie with Anthony, and I tried doing the Texas Chainsaw voiceover just for shits and giggles, and it goes so fast. I couldn't even keep up with my eyes, and I'm a pretty fast reader, man. Like,
I was able to get through it by like kind of like half-assing like the last like 2 lines of it.
Yeah, you have to like fucking skim it.
Right? It's like
you have to do a Sparks Note version, just keep up with it.
Yeah,
just a giant ass wall of text after you've been kind of like gotten a little introduction to the characters. Like, this is what these characters are. It is this year.
Yeah, and you're not really ready for a giant wall of text like that. Like it's just
so
kind of like,
it's like, we should probably try to emulate some of horrors. That Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a pretty popular one. We'll do it like that. Just giant wall of text.
The year is 1975.
Well, the year is 1971, even though it wasn't 1971 in real life.
Right, we'll use 2 words later in the movie to show that it's that year.
The house does not look anything like the real house IRL.
No.
I don't know if we want to pepper that in. So after I watched the full movie, I watched The Ghost Adventures. They had a full 2-hour special on it, just to kind of like see some other points of view. And it is very interesting how much creative liberty they took with this movie to tell a compelling story.
Yeah.
How many characters they omitted and stuff that they added in to make it seem way more of theatrical than it really was. But no, the house in real life is much. I mean, it's 3,000 square feet, so it's not like it's a small house, but it's not a 2-story beautiful mansion. And also, like, were there other houses around that house? It was very hard to tell the way they were shot it. They shot it.
Seemingly,
the actual house has its own land.
Yeah. But like, I mean, like the house that they filmed the movie.
I don't think so. I think it had its own land too.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, because they had like that little river right along there, and it was like kind of a drive up into there. Yeah, I think it was a little ways away at least.
But yeah. Maybe I was just seeing the barn or something, because the real house in real life has a barn behind it. They didn't really utilize the barn at all during the movie.
No.
So I don't know if there was actually a barn like in shot. Maybe that's what I was saying and thinking it was a different house. I'll have to go back and rewatch it eventually later and see if my brain was deceiving me.
They don't really mention a farm in the movie though.
Well, they also, they took creative liberty on that, but they also get a pizza delivered out there, which is kind of funny.
One pizza.
The polar opposite of Home Alone.
Yes. Yes.
So it's funny
Kevin
you said that.
It's like 12 to 14 pizzas.
I mean, they have 5 kids. That's
but still.
Speaking of the kids, something I like to do when we watch movies is to try and, I've said this in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, pin the names on people. There are so many fucking kids in this movie. I was so confused. I had subtitles on, so when one would speak, it'd say like Cindy, and then like it had the name, and I was like, okay, so there's a Cindy. I'm like, okay, that one's that one. There was certain scenes I was like, wait, how many kids are here? Those 2 are sleeping in the same bedroom? I was like, oh, which one's which? That one's the. Oh my god,
there's like multiple watches.
I've seen that movie multiple times, and I still don't have that straight.
I only have the names down because Katie was there, like helping me out. So
April
Nancy,
and Andrea, that's all I can remember.
April's the youngest. Nancy's the girl with glasses, and Christine is the girl who sleeps in the same room with her, who's got curly short hair. Cindy is the braided girl who's a sleepwalker who bangs her head.
Oh, that's right.
And then Andrea's the oldest, who is also in the Ghost Adventure special. She actually comes and is there with them
the
on the
actual
full night.
child.
Yeah, Andrea Penn is actually there with them and it's like
Wow.
talks about like does a lot of fact checks with the movie. And it's like, well, this is kind of the events as how I remember it.
They use her as a consultant, but
Yeah.
then what I was hearing too that the director wanted a PG-13 rating with what they had, like what they were working with. Like they didn't even like.
What is the rating of the film right
Rated
now?
R.
Is it R? Okay.
But like he was pretty much immediately shot down. Like they toned it down from what they heard from Andrea because they wanted to put like as close they could as the original, but they had to tone a lot of it down because what really happened was like just too much, and he wanted a PG-13 rating, so they ended up being immediately shot down, and they kind of went with what they had. But the reason why, like, because there was no exorcism, there was just a seance.
it was just a seance that went really poorly.
What actually happened was deemed like too scary, so like even for an R rating. So then that's why they changed it up a bit to make it where it's still scary, but within the limits of what can be shown without it.
The story that she said in the Ghost Adventures episode was that they were just doing like a seance in that dining room, and like the table lifted up, and like their mom, who was strapped to the chair, got thrown. She was in like a captain's, like, you know how the end tables and chairs are usually larger. She was in one of those chairs, and it got picked up and thrown across the room. And then like their dad and Ed Warren got in a big fight, and they like a physical fight and stuff like that. And then they swore them out of the house because the Warrens actually weren't the first investigators there, as I've learned out. They kind of they pushed aside a pair of local investigators.
Yeah.
There were these two brothers. What are their names? I wrote it down here. Let's see. Keith and Carl Johnson were the investigators before the Warrens. They're brothers who hadn't been to the house until the 2019 Ghost Adventures episode. They hadn't been to there since they got kicked out by the Warrens, basically, once they came in and took over the investigation. Because the movie makes it seem like they called the Warrens immediately.
Yeah, the Warren just showed up.
Yeah. They were just kind of like, oh, we heard about this spooky place. Let's go and do our thing. And then they're like, no, get the hell out of here. 'Cause apparently the kids all came in. They didn't know what was happening. It was just all the kids and the Warrens and like the brothers and everyone just all in the house. And they did a seance and just went poorly and everybody got in a fight.
Next day goes like what 4 of the 5 kids saw
Yeah.
it. They weren't like none of them were meant to see it at all.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were hiding in the corner, like watching away. But they were supposed to be up in bed. But yeah, that's just some IRL fact checks from the episode. So, I mean, take it as you will. It isn't a produced episode, so, you know, always skeptic about everything. But yeah, so starting at the beginning of the movie, the family gets to the house, and they don't really say why they moved out there, except for, like, they just wanted to be in the country. That wasn't, like, for a job.
Right.
Usually when horror films and stuff like that have people move out there, even though I know this is IRL, they just, like, bought it from the bank.
Yeah, got on auction.
It's like,
No,
all
okay.
right.
They
Could just-
that they said that they were trying to like fix it up and sell it.
Oh, okay.
They
I
had
might
their
have
money
missed that
tied
one.
up into the house to try and fix it up and sell it. Because when they're like, well, why don't you move? Well, the money's tied up in the house. We're trying to fix it up. But they had mentioned a little bit earlier, I thought, that they were
okay.
trying to sell it.
Okay. That's a respectable reason. It's worth a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's so many like cliches right at the beginning, like the dog not wanting to go into the house and all that. It's like, oh, classic horror.
Right.
But then there was a scene that I really liked in the beginning of the movie, but we watched CinemaSins before this, and it kind of killed some of the stuff I liked on it.
You're right.
I like the long sweeping scenes, and he's like, these scenes are cool, even if they don't prove a point. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's just a sweeping shot. But it also is, there's a note that I took that ended up basically not meaning anything, because I wrote, oh, yeah, the cool 70s soundtrack. There's 2 fucking songs in this movie. But I was like, that long sweeping shot, they had like, I should have wrote down the names of the songs, but they had a classic 70s song.
It's one song by the Zombies, I thought.
But yeah, I was listening to that. I'm like, okay, cool. This is going to be like I guess Guardians of the Galaxy brainwashed everybody to think that, oh, yeah, every movie's going to have an amazing soundtrack. And this was 2013, not 2014. So I was like, oh, okay, there's only like 2 iconic 70s songs throughout the film. But yeah. There's a line right at the beginning that made me cringe. It's like, wow, do you hear that? What? Nothing. And it's like, yeah, like that's what he wanted. And I'm just like, oh. What do you hear? Nothing. Yeah. Or something like that.
Oh yeah,
just
and
like that type
and
of...
the wife is like, oh okay.
I know, right? I was
He's
just
so
like,
awkward with it. It's It's like, oh, this is gonna be a great start, isn't it? But I found out that so the dog Sadie, like, I guess there was 2 dogs and they had 2 dogs and like multiple cats, like they were like the actual family.
Oh, the actual family.
And the one dog that like I guess was supposed to be like the Sadie character or the Sadie dog was actually it was a dog that was named after like the main ghost like in the actual movie. It was like, what was it called? Something
Bathsheba.
Bathsheba. The mom named a dog that. That was like what the dog that was like Andrea.
Well, yeah,
like,
because
older sister. Was, like,
one of the biggest
main
things
animal
is the time in the movie. It makes it seem like they move into the house and shit starts happening immediately.
Right.
They call the Warrens immediately. It was actually about 3 years. They moved in 71, and it was around like 73 when they started actually finally convincing the dad to like get investigators to come out. Because according to the sister, the oldest Andrea, in the interview, she's like, yeah, one of my youngest sisters had issues that first night, and it was never really bad, but it just kind of compounded over like 3 years, and they finally able to convince the dad to like do stuff because it got like pretty bad.
Yeah, he was just in denial because he like knew there was something up, but he just doing the whole like, I'm the man of the house, I don't have any control over this, I'm just gonna I can deny it.
Yeah, the dad in the movie is much more compassionate than at least the daughters made their dad seem out to be.
He's the guy from Office Space. Gotta be.
Oh my god, he is the guy from Office Space. So the entire time I was watching, I'm like, I know this guy, but I don't know what he's from. He's got the long hair, and okay. But I immediately recognized Night Owl as Ed Warren. I was like, hey, because I haven't seen too many movies with him, so I see him and I'm just like, oh, and he's like the same exact outfit and everything, like a nice clean suit and haircut back and everything. Yeah. But something I pointed out is they're in this new house and kids are playing this game I've never seen before in my life, where you spin around 3 times and clap to try and find people. Because I played hide and seek, but that's a very kind of specific type of hide and clap. But I wrote just always convenient shit that makes them find the spooky things. Like the girl hiding in the closet. It's always someone hiding. They're doing like some hide and seek or something to where they find the spooky stuff. With this being the boarded up wall to the basement.
And the way they find it, like the clap and she like freaking tackles.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't follow what. How just like they punch the door. It's like, woo!
Like, why?
So aggressive.
But
like,
yeah, they
plot comedians.
Found you, bitch.
They find the basement and then head on down there, and it's like because the dad goes down there first, and you don't like see anything, and it's just like all quiet, and then it's like, I'm good. Yeah.
So I want to pose this question.
What?
So if you found that the way that they did, would you do what they did and gone down there and
Hell
investigated?
no, I
Or
would
would
have.
you boarded
I
up
would've-
immediately and like forgotten about it.
I would have boarded up immediately and tried to contact the previous owner of the bank or anything. Go, hey, what's the square footage of this? Does that include the cellar? And if it does, okay, why the hell is the cellar boarded? I'd get some research. And also, they do point out that it's a 7-people family, so getting a hotel or some shit like that ain't gonna be cheap.
So what's your theory? You would, right?
I would definitely go see what the fuck is under that house, especially if I can't get out of that house. I want to know exactly what's under there if I can't leave. But I'm also doing what you said and seeing if that's part of my like agreement with the
Like, did
what
they
I
know
bought.
about this?
Yeah, did I just do I get free land now?
Because no, I got to do some
get
research. It's like, did they know about this? Yes, they did. Okay, why is it boarded up? That's question number 2. Did they know about this? Okay, they didn't. Then why the hell didn't they know about this? Both of those are questions that need to be done. But
whose
I kind of
stuff is
need to
down
know
here?
how I'm attacking this investigation, because as you said, all your money's tied up in this house. This hell basement is now yours. So it's like, all right. Who is trying to hide something so I can figure out
Satan.
if I need silver to kill this demon, or salt, or I need
Garlic.
holy weapons, or do I need to
garlic.
get a blessed mace or
Just
something?
call Blade.
Kind of.
Okay, so
I need the
that's-
ninja that attacked the
Wesley
fucking.
Snipes.
Who are you gonna call?
Demonologist.
Yep, exactly.
Demonologist.
Yep, you're not gonna call Ghostbusters in The Conjuring. You're gonna call the
Well,
Demonologist.
Ghostbusters are in New York, which is more south, and they're out there in Rhode Island, so it'll be kind of a drive. And then, secondly, the Ghostbusters weren't formed until '84, so this is a bit before the
This is
Ghostbusters.
pre-Ghostbusters.
Right.
But the Pym family didn't move out of the house until 1990.
Oh, so they could have called Ghostbusters.
They could have. Who knows? So, but it just,
Who are they gonna call?
I haven't seen Conjuring 2 or 3 or however
They
many
still
there are.
don't
so.
call the Ghostbusters.
Oh, need Bill Murray
Spoilers.
back. Damn it.
They still call demonologists.
No.
Well, they didn't learn the first time.
Well, so they hop across the pond in Conjuring 2, and then
It's in London?
Yeah, and then in Conjuring 3, they're back here.
Oh. Because it's all just they travel. Is it the same actors who play Ed and Lorraine Warren? It's just them all going through?
Yeah.
Because I saw the poster for Conjuring 2, and I noticed it was the same actress that played. Who I thought, does she kind of look like Elizabeth Olsen? Scarlet Witch?
I do kind of get that.
I kind of get.
Kind of.
But she's
like,
the-
maybe like it's sort of like aunt or something like that.
Yeah, like related.
Yeah.
But I actually didn't fact check it, but my mom was telling me that she's the sister of the girl from American Horror Story. In
I
Murder
haven't
House,
seen
she's the
American
daughter.
Horror Story, so that's a reference that just goes right around.
Really?
I mean, I've seen American Horror Story. I just don't know if that fact is.
Eh.
If that fact.
If that fact,
If that
right?
fact-
If that fact crack is true.
See, I need to stop doing this. Something I do with my notes is I'll write the quote, but don't add any context to it. Like I wrote, I didn't do that, did I? I don't remember the context for that quote or who said it.
I didn't do that.
Nick, you got to do better with yourself. But that was before Sadie, because the next thing is Rip Sadie. That was pretty
R.I.P.
messed up
Sadie.
scene.
He didn't remember the dog dies, and he just looks over. He's like, the dog dies.
It's a horror
Yeah, dude, I
film.
was so-
dogs
I was-
are either saved and they never die, or they die real fast.
That's what I told him. I was like, hey, look at it this way. The Band-Aid got ripped off quick. You only had to see her in 2 scenes.
Okay, I gotta
Yeah,
say,
right. They didn't do a Marley and me.
You know what for me was the most disturbing scene? The pigeon squirming on the ground after its neck broke.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was an
pretty brutal.
animatronic or CG or something, but
I feel like animatronic. Or what you
it was
said.
probably CG based upon what year it came out and how good CG is now. But oh my god, that was just a creepy ass scene. I did not like the way it was wiggling.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No.
Goosebumps. But this when we're introduced to all the Warrens, because when I added all their names, a Judy daughter and all of them. Drew's the tech guy, who the most pointless character.
Dude, he is. He comes into the scene and he like, what did he do? He comes in the first time that he comes into this. It's before they even like.
Oh, it's like after the lecture they're at the car? Is that
Yeah,
what you're talking about?
yeah.
He brings Lorraine. No, he brings the mom.
Cat.
Woo,
Chris, what the-
hello. He brings what's the
Catherine?
mom's name?
What's her name?
Carolyn.
Carolyn.
Brings Carolyn to the Warrens.
Yeah.
And then it just like he goes away. That's all
He's-
he's in that scene.
Right.
But then he comes back later. But Anthony was like,
There's
what
no
the
establishment of
fuck?
who that
No,
character
who the fuck
he
was that guy?
He just shows up. It's like that's a deleted scene somewhere. He's like, "Hey guys, do you need me to come out to that place this evening?" He's like, "Oh yeah, dude, we could totally help you out."
I'll be there.
Just like he just shows up. He's the tech guy. Also, the cop just kind of shows up too. Brad. Yeah,
I like Brad.
I like Brad too. He's pretty
The
funny.
freaking comic relief with the bathroom thing is like they hear the bell and like what?
What? I had to
I
go.
had to go.
God. Oh, the father passed out on the desk with alcohol cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is after all the characters are introduced. The whole middle of the film is just like random stuff, random stuff. Event. Just kind of like build up to the Warrens like getting there. But freaking
The movie feels like it's in like 2 halves.
yeah.
The first half feels like a
it's a
Amityville
pretty long
Horror,
movie, too.
Hill House kind of like haunting kind of movie. Then the second half just feels like The Exorcism
Yeah.
or The Exorcist.
That's what I'm talking about from American Horror Story. They have the same
okay,
last
they're,
name,
like,
so it
related.
makes sense that they're
Yeah,
Oh.
maybe.
doesn't say anything on IMDb about it, but
Yeah.
I mean they do look similar and they have the same last names, so
I wrote kids are the worst. The fake out boo with the mirror that they do.
right.
Because they they show her the mirror and the whole boo.
Well,
It's like, man. There are a decent number of the fake outs in this movie where the fake out scare was like, oh, it's not really there. Or,
Or
it's just someone.
Or they do the jump scare and they kind of like that piece where like, everything's good, and then they fake you out like, okay, nothing really happened. I really am comfortable and I'm good.
And
I'm
then the
safe.
double
and then
jump
they actually
scare.
jump scare you again. You're like, what are you doing?
The fake out to real jump scare.
Right.
But
It
yeah,
worked
they,
really well though.
something.
First time.
I always like to point out little cinematography things when I see them. But the someone behind you scene, I really like how that scene was like lit. Like, because there was, like, you saw the door, you saw, like, the left hand of the sister, the Carol, whatever one was, like, standing up. And then there was, like, it's all you saw was, like, the light from that. You didn't see anything behind the door. It's like, there's something behind you.
Like, that whole scene, you never see anything, and it's just, like, a perfect, like, a beautiful thing for, like,
you really don't see anything until, like, the scene with the laundry, really.
Oh yeah. When she's doing the laundry,
which
outside.
I also wrote.
Well, doesn't the one she's on top of the dresser? Wasn't that the first time?
Oh, I forgot about the
well,
dresser
just
pounce.
got
I did
before,
not
though.
like. I thought that was cheesy as hell.
It looked
The
like-
dresser pounce was a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the exact
It's
same.
in this middle part of the
model
movie
as-
where they're just kind
I
of.
almost
like
feel like it would have been
scaring
better
people.
if they had the entity there, but not actually jump at her. Like, just show her there, then cut away, and then have everything happen.
Don't even show.
I feel like
They
to show
did show the
something.
witch Bathsheba a bit too much in physical form, like because they showed her hanging from the tree twice, and then there's a whole scene in the basement where she's hanging, and you see like the feet for a while dangling, and it spins around. I mean, it. I don't know, it's a creative thing, and I'm just not the biggest fan of.
I just didn't like seeing the Bathsheba's full face and everything.
I think
That was a bit too early to like show
Yeah, like, it
everything.
was
Well, I feel like, especially like knowing what like Andrea's like recanting like some of the instances with like what she's seen and what happened to her mom. I feel like those descriptions of what the entity looked like, that would have driven it better, because it was the whole thing, like the face was like, or the head was hanging off the shoulder, like not connected to the neck. The face was like, there's no discernible
because
features, hollow eyes,
some
so
of
you
the-
didn't see anything.
Well,
Really.
one
That's freaky.
of the people in the Ghost Adventures episode, they actually talk about all the real recorded deaths that have happened at the actual property. And one of them was a girl who denied this guy marriage. She was like pretty young. He was way older. She denied him marriage, and he stabbed her and cut off her head. Basically, he nearly decapitated her. So
Shit.
if the kids are describing stuff like that, it probably was cut for creative choices for like how much do they want to try to like establish multiple demons or ghosts, because there was many deaths at the real property that were recorded and talked about on that show, people dying of
Right.
suicide, overdosing. So the actual Bathsheba thing is kind of a myth. It was never really proved that the person lived there or was like actually practiced witchcraft. That was all just kind of like spoken word, but there was a lot of deaths. Like, and even like as one person wandered onto the property and froze in the barn.
Oh wow.
So like there was just the whole property is
You know,
just.
I heard about
And
that.
as they talk about, is it did get cut up. Like the house that is for sale right now isn't the full property. It's only a small little bit of land. That even in the one they talk about how like the graveyard is only kind of like half owned, because they did eventually find a graveyard on property. That was this year, right? That they filmed that.
Cemetery,
Yeah. So, yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah,
just,
what they own that property, like it's way less.
yeah, it's
acres.
it was got cut into pieces. So that was kind of something that they added into the movie
Yeah.
that wasn't a part of real life. It was like a cool thing. It was, oh, they took her land, and it's like
To
something
justify the
CinemaSins
haunting.
pointed out. I was like, well, if she's attached to the land, then just leave.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah,
Like it
It's like you-
contradicted itself with like it had a good idea, but then this other thing.
it's like stepping in gum, then scrape off the gum.
right?
Nothing can get off.
It's just scrape off the, like in this case, the property that you really should not keep, even if you have money troubles.
But
'Cause
yeah.
life is more important than debt.
But it won't make the story happen then.
That's true.
Suspension of disbelief.
I know a lot of it. Not as much as some movies, but still a fair amount.
And then this is when all the Warrens show up. I said, oh, it's like setting up a level for Phasmophobia.
Right.
Yeah.
Like for real.
All right,
though.
let's set in all the cameras here in the
K2
corners.
spirit box.
Well, it's all the 70s tech, too. So
Yeah.
it's like if... that would be kind of a cool DLC for Phas, old school tech.
That'd be
Like,
fun.
you have to play rounds where you only have, like, not any new tech. Like, you have old tape recorders, so you're maybe timed. You can only record for so long.
Oh.
You have to play
Switch
back
the
and
tapes
listen
and
to stuff. That would...
Yeah, so
See,
like
I'm
instead for-
creating cool
right.
Phas DLC
Fast
here.
developers. Hey.
Check it out. You got tapes recorded. You have to sit and listen back. When you're listening, you're more vulnerable to demon attacks. I haven't played since the new update. Apparently, it's super fucking scary.
It's pretty scary.
You can do it with the cameras too. Like this way, you can't see what you took right away. You won't be able to see till you get back to the.
But you have the audio setup they had. That would be cool
Yeah.
in Phas, where you have to switch between audio tracks to try and listen.
Mhm.
See, there's so much potential for a vintage DLC.
Mhm.
True.
I think that would be cool, based upon the Conjuring series and other similar
Right.
stories. I just want that. All right. But yeah, they set up a whole like Phas thing. But then the fucking The blindfold game. Oh, the clapping hands out of
out
the
of the
wardrobe.
closet.
That was a legitimate scare. That was kind of
good.
creepy.
I liked that.
That one and the second one at the top of the staircase.
I didn't like the top of the staircase as much because he said like what did he say right when he did it? It's like I'm here. He said something and it kind of just killed the vibe for me.
I don't remember.
Because she was up there with the match trying to like light.
That's
she
true.
Got
It would have
locked
been
in the
better if
basement.
there was no
was
audio
just
besides
like,
the clap.
Psh, psh.
That and
Would've
it's
been
like it was
scarier.
almost too like they're both I think good. I think the wardrobe one's like top tier because it's like it's out of focus. You're not really sure at first what you're even seeing. So I feel like that's beautiful. And then just like the following scene because then it confirms that it wasn't the daughter. But then at top of the staircase, I feel like you take the audio away, and then I feel like I guess it's just too on the nose because like already something like that already happened before. So like maybe if I took the audio away, I wouldn't be so against it.
Wasn't so against it.
But with the way it's presented, I'm like, eh. I mean, it was a good jump scare, but it wasn't anything different. I guess. Yeah.
But one of the things I wrote that because I thought it was fucking funny was the demon that possessed in the wardrobe. So the lion, the witch in the wardrobe.
Oh,
The demon, the possession, the wardrobe. It's great.
It's like, but yeah,
Had to be
get a
said.
fun little trivia fact in the lecture that the mom goes to listen to the Warrens. Lorraine Warren is in that scene.
Oh,
She's
really?
sitting in the audience.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, she's a little cameo. But yeah, no, Katie pointed out. She's like, there she is. I'm like, oh, shit. Really? Okay, cool. I didn't know that. But, yeah, it was pretty funny.
I did like real quick. It's a little
Yeah.
bit earlier in the film, even though like some of the stuff we've watched today kind of discredits it, but the whole idea like when they're at the Warren's house and the one guy comes in, he's kind of like, I guess I can't remember. Was he a cop? I can't remember the guy that was in there.
Brad?
No,
Wait,
no,
which
no,
one?
not
What are you talking about? Sorry.
at the Warren's house. Like when they go into the room. with
Oh,
all the-
he was a reporter. He was writing something. He's like, oh, hopefully he's not a skeptic. He'll write something nice about us.
That's right.
Yeah.
But like when they're in there and they're talking about like, oh, you have all these things. Like, aren't you worried about them being in there?
In the
And he's
same place.
saying about them that they're a conduit. That it's better because like you destroy the object, you're destroying the vessel, but not the entity or whatever that's possessed it. And then even though a lot of that kind of got debunked. Is that the word? But just like
land.
just suspension of disbelief, just kind of going with the scene. I just like the phrase. Sometimes it's better to keep the genie in the bottle.
That's a good line.
So like going along with the movie, like any external like
you know that
critique,
someone wrote that
perfect.
line. It's like I'm proud of that. Let's get that
Right?
into the movie somehow.
I thought it was good. I think this is like kind of a quick like little clever thing because I mean like
Yeah.
it completely encompasses the idea in one simple sentence.
Brad 70s mustache. Some of my notes. I just wrote Brad 70s mustache. He's got
That's
the
why I
funk.
like Brad, dude. You know, you can trust him.
And he's a cop who doesn't like in some horror films. Usually the cop either dies immediately or ends up being kind of crooked. No, he's Brad.
He's Brad, dude.
He gets his cheek bit. It
Yeah.
looks like it hurts like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
bite, ow. But no, he's fine. He brings a shotgun into a haunted house like an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, what he should have done.
Shoot these fucking ghosts.
How he like I don't think this would work, but like how he opened the door, that's cool. Then you set the gun away. 'Cause
And
then
there
it
are
can't be used
kids
against
around.
you.
I mean, he put it down there in the basement and everything. So, what? Yeah.
They had the cool action scene, like look out, roll.
Honestly,
away
if
from the
you
gun.
had a shotgun and you were going into a house, you'd probably keep that shotgun on you.
I mean,
realistically,
if you're scared, yes.
Yeah.
Even if you know,
Would
it
you
will
put
do
that
nothing.
down?
Look out. Here comes the Bradley man.
Oh man. Perfect.
After that, there's my favorite line of dialogue, where they're like, "Oh, it's the oldest girl, Andrea, and the God, whatever his name, pointless guy,
Oh, like
Pete,
intern.
Paul.
Drew, tech
Drew.
guy.
Drew.
They're having a scene. They're kind of flirting. They're like far out. Yeah, it's totally groovy.
Groovy.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
Oh
"We need to
yeah,
remind you this
we
is
are in the
70s."
70s. Nowhere else does that come.
Right?
Like, does 70s dialogue come out? I'm pretty sure they say stuff that are more like modern too throughout it. Because I was trying to listen for stuff after I
Right.
heard that. I'm like, dude, is dude that long? No, dude's been around for forever. Oh, then there's the I had to go scene. Yeah, what? I had to go.
Nice little humor there.
Oh, I wrote 2 laundry scenes so far this spoopy month. because there was the laundry scene in Texas Chainsaw Massacre where he's chasing her through there, and then there's a laundry scene outside where the ghosts. I'm like, yep, so far too, and I'm pretty sure the one we picked for our next movie has a laundry scene. So
that was a cool way to tie in like the original ghost look of like a sheet over a ghost.
I know, right? I wrote that as the most iconic, like the classic laundry scene. That when I think of the first movie, even though I was probably asleep for it the first time I saw it, I've seen that GIF at least so much. It's like, spoopy. Oh, look what you made me do. They yell, "Look what you made me do" a lot because it's like when the ghost is trying to get them scared, and all I could think of was, "Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do." The entire time. So I killed the tension of that scene for myself.
Me and Anthony killed the tension of the entire movie.
Well, your notes, I could tell you were drinking because your notes were good, and then just kind of stopped, and you even had like a line to start another note, but you didn't write anything there.
I had 3 lines. So like I literally just had dog knows what's up, 3:07 a.m. Crazy fall downstairs. That was my note.
The crazy fall downstairs.
There's no way she was surviving that fall down the floor.
Or at the very least.
And I also wrote that is a piano sting I'm okay with. Usually you get like the brass. I don't know, his notes are great. The brass. Look at mine. Look how much
I know. There's so much.
Brandon, this is me.
Mine's like not even a happy middle. It's like just like a slight like I watched it a second time, so I got a little bit more.
But yeah.
A tier, F tier, minus.
Too good.
So what were we saying?
I forgot the laundry scene. Yeah, okay. Oh, look what you made me do. Yeah, with the whole killing the tension for the ghost trying to haunt her. But then, it's funny enough, they start getting, like, activity starts happening, and they start talking, and there's poofs of, like, cold breath in front. Like, cold breath! Nice. They pop out because the daughter disappears. And they pop out the UV light. And I'm like, all right, we got fingerprints. We got cold breath. All right, let's go grab the spirit box. Let's get some of let's get an X camera in the corner here so we can get any spirit orbs. Spirit orbs coming later in the film. Like, oh shit, we got spirit orbs, cold breath, UV light. We're dealing with a demon here. I actually don't know what it is. I should have looked up what the actual things are.
Hold on.
You gotta do some research. See if anything is cold breath, UV light, and ghost spirit orbs. Because I guess we do get other ones, like they does do telekinesis. Or what is that called? Telekinesis. You know what I mean, where it starts throwing stuff like the poltergeist.
Oh yeah, the poltergeist. Just
okay, so what do we have again? We had
fingerprints, cold breath, and
ultimate beauty buying guide.
What a weird ad. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So we got freezing temps.
What is all this? Oh, there's new things. What's dots?
Oh, yeah. So maybe this won't be the best one to use?
This is the new update. Freezing temps, fingerprints, EMF 5. Nope. Freezing temps, fingerprints, ghost writing. Oh, if it was demon, it did. Did it do any ghost writing in the film?
No. That was Annabelle.
It is a Hantu.
Yes.
What's a Hantu? All right, time to search up and figure out what a Hantu is and see if I can actually figure that out. But oh, no, I can't type. All right, a Hantu, supernatural creature. It's Indonesian. Okay. It's the word for spirit or ghost. It's a Polynesian ghost. Yeah, I can see a Polynesian ghost being in Rhode Island.
He took the boat across.
And that was a road that just went to nowhere. Funny joke, though, I gotta admit. Funny joke. Game Grumps.
Joke.
Oh, my God. Oh, I also wrote that there's a scene where the most 70s vehicles pop up in one.
Oh yeah, they
scene.
all pull up.
You got a UV, not a UV, a VW, a VW bus. You got a station wagon with wood paneling. You got a 70s Mustang. You got the old Ford cop cars. I'm like, this is the most 70s auto line. There's the old broken down Chevy, even though that's before. It's just like, oh my God.
Their set guy was just reminded right before he got in.
It's like it's a 70s
Remember,
film.
dude, it's the 70s. Just don't take it past 79, okay? Just
like all the cars are from like the late 2000s. Like fuck.
Dude, you had one job.
God, spirit orbs. Oh my God, Rory looks like Little Lad. Rory's outfit, the ghost boy.
Little Lad.
Berries and cream. The Skittles ad, the berries and cream.
Oh my God, he does, dude. Oh my God, he does.
He wears the suspenders. So you haven't watched the most recent Food Theory.
Mm-mm.
He does look like him.
The berries and cream dance, that guy?
Oh my god.
Yeah. I saw that, and because I watched that Food Theory, I was just like, that's a little lad right there. Getting you some berries and creams, blood and death. Little demon. God.
I hate berries and cream. I mean, I love berries and cream, but I hate berries and cream.
I am not a fan of the Annabelle doll design in the movies.
I'm not either. It's originally a Raggedy Ann.
It originally, and because I kind of already don't like Raggedy Ann and Sock Puppet and all that type of stuff, the real Annabelle doll is way creepier to me.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That it's way too
it
eyes.
felt too try hard.
Yeah, it felt way too try hard, and they kind of went with the design off the bat because I don't think the Annabelle doll design changes in all in the movies. It's just they did this first one and they went with it.
It seems like there might be like very minor cosmetic, but it's the same basic
Also,
design.
I didn't even put it in my notes. There's a whole subplot with their daughter and Annabelle that just kind of doesn't go anywhere.
That whole section of the movie when I did the rewatch on Friday, I
even CinemaSins didn't bring it up. It's such a no nonsense plot to the movie. It's like Annabelle's like they when he was first directing it, like he wasn't planning to do like probably an Annabelle film, so they just kind of like peppered in some stuff. It was probably in early drafts of the scripts and stuff, and they just kind of just ended up being a little weird side plot that added some runtime to this 2-hour long film. So
So it was touched on, but they like he pointed out the whole like did they really do like 2 of the parents to get home just at the right time when the haunting's happening? Cliche?
Truth, yeah.
Like, but then I wish he kind of did like the next thing is like, oh, the rest of this doesn't matter, and then just is like 10 sins.
Yeah,
that
doesn't matter. Truth. I did write cool ending credits though, because I actually really enjoy the ending credits. I skipped a line here.
The pictures.
Dude, my climax note is just one line. It was short and intense, but in a 2-hour movie, I mean, that's my note. I'm just like, yeah, that was the climax of the film. All right. Just the whole.
Was it
fight.
good for you?
Nah, it was 2 hours and it only lasted a couple minutes.
That doesn't make any sense.
But no, yeah, I skipped right over that final whole scene with them throwing him around. We can't leave the house. I have to do the The Vatican approving the exorcism. That's so.
I know.
All of that stuff is so fabricated for the movie. None of that was a part of the IRL stuff. So.
Also, like with the whole like before she gets possessed, the mom. I mean, like she has like the bruising, all the markings and stuff. The only thing from the rewatch is like it's like blamed on like an iron deficiency.
Yeah, because it's I think Crohn's disease, or there's an actual disease where an iron deficiency causes you. Where if I go like, you'd bruise.
Right.
And so she was taking iron because she's like, well, that's the whole thing is. You don't really get a passage of time in this movie. That is one of my qualms with it. I have no idea how long of a time gap this movie takes.
No.
And in the real life, it was 3 years. So they kind of do some cuts around. Like she went to the doctor. Like, oh, you might have an iron. You might have Crohn's. Let's get you on. Because they show her getting the med in one scene. That was like it. She casually mentions it in half a line. Remember that scene. Like 20 minutes later. She's like, oh, yeah, it might be. Oh, he's like, oh, you have, because Ed Warren's like, oh, you've got bruises all over you. She's like, no, I've got an iron deficiency. And it's like, that's all. It was so little stuff like that where it's like, it's cool, but it's a 2-hour movie and you're throwing plot points at me that get used for half a line.
Right.
It's
and
like,
just so forgettable that one of the scenes, I watched it twice this week and I don't even remember it happening.
Exactly. So, I do really enjoy this movie, though.
Overall,
it's a fun watch.
It's a fun watch. Now that I've actually watched it, because the first time I don't remember shit. I was so drunk I slept. Like it was me and Christian were hanging out. It was probably like way late at night. We ended up watching it because we were like, "Ooh, let's watch a horror movie," and I just slept through it all.
I was there for that watch.
Yep. But yeah, some fun little facts from the Ghost Adventures thing. The episode, it was a 2-hour special called "The Curse of the Harrisville Farmhouse." Was the episode. And it's the Corey and Jennifer Heinzen family. They bought it in September 2019. They're the ones selling it right now. Black mists move with a purpose. Because they talk about the big thing of the house was the black mists is the number one thing that people have seen in it. And they were doing a drone shot of like them walking to the house like for promotional and all that stuff. And like they see, because there's like an enclosed Arizona room type patio type. It's funny to call it Arizona room. It's fucking Rhode Island. But an enclosed patio. And they see a black mist move and all that. And Ghost Adventures are fun, but I don't take them seriously at all.
I don't take any of those motherfuckers
No,
seriously, but it's
so fun to watch them act and do all this.
Oh my fucking god! It just touched my leg. It just touched my leg. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Someone catch that.
Did you read that? Get in here! I'm just getting really mad, man. I'm just like, this room is just like causing me to go really fucking mad. I'm just like, all right, dude, get the fuck out of the room then. You don't have to monologue for 6 minutes.
You know the solution. You're saying it out loud.
But no, yeah, it's pretty cool. So the actual event that the seance happened was Halloween Eve, 1973. That's what Andrea says. It was the night that the seance happened that went bad, that they got in the big fight and everything. And yeah, it was like the original. Once the movie came out, like the original owner, it was nonstop traffic. He couldn't deal with it, trying all the people to want to like get pictures. And the Heinzen family are much more opening. I mean, they decorated the house. They put Ouija boards in there. They have Raggedy Ann dolls everywhere. Right. I mean, they let ghost crews and YouTubers and a bunch of people come in and do videos. Yeah. So yeah. I'm actually surprised on why they're selling it. Maybe they had a bad night and they just need to,
Well, because I can't remember, because in that video that we watched earlier, the one guy was saying that like they were sleeping in the original, like the bedroom that got repurposed from a kitchen for the husband and wife, and he woke up in the middle of the night and saw like a figure like at the
like bending in,
and then I guess he didn't realize the wife was awake, saw it too. And then something like, did they say something? Or like, and then that would cause that to retreat essentially and kind of go away. And they just looked at each other and they high-fived each other. The fuck?
Go away.
Like, how do you like call it out? It goes away, and then it can't go anywhere because of the layout. And then you just
I'm gonna go to bed.
Each other, go to sleep.
Is that okay? Cool. It's like the whole thing. It sounds like the murder snail thing where you get $1 million, but there's a snail constantly coming toward you.
Oh, what?
Okay.
Like the spoon thing, like kill you slowly with the spoon.
I don't know the spoon thing, but the snail thing is basically like, it's a what if. Like if you get $1 million or X amount of money, but there's a snail coming towards you, and if it touches you, you die. But it's a snail, and it can't like get on a plane or anything. It just like it moves at snail speed. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking like, what made me think of that is like if you step over it and go in the other direction, like okay, I'm gonna go sleep. Bop that. But yeah, and there's that one horror film too where the guy constantly coming to try and kill you. I forgot which one that was.
It Follows.
It Follows. That makes sense.
I don't think I ever saw that.
I only saw like everything wrong with it. I never watched the actual film.
It's actually pretty good.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty decent.
Nice.
It's transferred through sex.
And it will constantly like walk towards you. Like the film takes place in like Ohio, Michigan area, and it's like them all trying to like escape it and all that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you try and find like a partner, and then they get stuck with it. But if they die, then it comes back to haunting you. So you want to find somebody that'll pass it on to as many people as you
want to find the sluttiest person to go down the line.
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool concept.
Crazy.
Yeah. Random facts, but yeah, the parents were actually, so in the movie it's like, oh, were they baptized? No, it's like, oh, we're not a church going people, but in IRL they were actually Catholic. So all of that, I was like, hey, you're changing people's stuff for the plot of the movie, and that doesn't even really make sense because the whole Vatican thing didn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, the Vatican got it approved. It's like,
good timing.
Woo, matter if they
good
don't,
timing.
Yeah.
It's like all of that was for that one line. It's like the line isn't as funny as you think it is.
Right.
It's a 2-hour movie. I keep on saying, but it could use a little. I felt like if I knew going into this was like the director's cut version of the film, that'd be one thing. Yeah. I feel like a theatrical could cut about 20-30 minutes out of it and still be okay. But yeah, that's just me. I still did enjoy it though. You guys have any final thoughts or anything I didn't touch on?
I just think it's kind of crazy. It's one of the only movies that when I talk with people about horror movies and you ask them like, oh, what's one of the like scary movies that you've seen? Most people say like The Conjuring was kind of freaky. At least a lot of the people I've talked to.
That's just because in the realm of more reality. Because like for me, like Insidious is scarier, but it's
almost too out there.
Yeah, it's not like this or The Exorcist, anything that has to deal with like a haunting of some sort. It'll hit closer to home for most because like that's something that could happen to you, or you could accidentally buy a house and not realize that something crazy happened there. That's a more feasible thing, so it's scarier because it's real.
And all the ghost activity in this isn't like insane. There's like not any like weird scenes of like or like shining like rivers of blood coming down.
Right. Yeah,
Or like all the lights constantly going on and off, and all the doors slamming like constantly.
Yeah,
like,
it's
nothing over the
everything that
top.
happens seems like just mirrors falling off the wall. Other than like the attack, that's why I felt like the attack from the wardrobe is so out of place because everything else throughout the film seems very minus like stuff that happens like with
the pictures on the
hanging.
staircase that happened. Like those are like the only thing that actually kind of goes along with like that much activity.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it didn't happen enough to justify that one attack.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Definitely will probably come back to the rest of the... Well, so I heard the rest of the franchise is not nearly as good as the first film.
It's not. We could maybe just do like just, I don't know.
Next year do a little like anthology.
Yeah, like watch an
hit bit.
Annabelle, watch the Conjuring 2 and 3. And
Let's do a little favorite and least favorite bits from the movies.
Yeah, just kind of give us a week to watch.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan. We'll save the date next spooky season.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thanks everyone for coming and listening. My name is Nick Benz, 9001 on all the social medias, and as I said an hour ago, but you heard it 7 days if you're listening to this when it comes out, which high five people. Nice to meet you. I'm still Nick Benz 9001. I'll be posting on Instagram and trying to stream a little bit at the end of the month. That'll be fun. Anthony?
Concise Koala on Twitch and YouTube.
Nice.
Pickled Brandon on everything. Band. End credits. This podcast, you can find us at Saturday Boys Pod.
I was like, oh shit, I forgot the pod.
Oh no. What we're doing right now. Shit.
Promote everything else. Thanks everyone for listening and
thanks for hanging in there with us. This spooky season.
Spooky.
Hey.
Hanging in with the noose.
Yeah.
Cheers everybody.